General Hospital spoilers tease that this Wednesday, May 14th, a storm of secrets and betrayals will rock Port Charles, igniting conflicts that will test loyalties, shatter relationships, and reveal long-buried truths. In two sweeping parts, we delve deep into the tense confrontations, hidden agendas, and heart-wrenching choices facing our favorite characters. From Dante and Brooke Lynn's explosive paternity mystery to Jocelyn's undercover gambit, from Curtis and Portia's marriage on the brink to Sonny's furious showdown with Carly and the chilling evidence that could exonerate or condemn Drew Kane. Nothing in this episode will be as it seems. Secrets unearthed and alliances tested. A secret child's revelation ripples through the Quartermaine, Spencer clan. Rumors of a clandestine liaison between Dante Falconeri and Brooke Lynn Quartermaine have finally erupted into the open, sending shockwaves through the tightly knit community of Port Charles. Whispers first surfaced when a midnight rendezvous was spotted at Kelly's diner, where a tearful Brooke Lynn confided in Dante about her unexpected pregnancy. Now, the truth of their secret child hangs in the balance. Enter Lulu Spencer, who, driven by fierce protective instincts and a relentless pursuit of justice, refuses to let this potential cover-up fade into oblivion. She corners the ever-resolute Carly Spencer with the explosive information that Dante and Brooke Lynn are parents to a newborn whose existence has been carefully hidden. As Lulu's eyes burn with righteous fury, she implores Carly to leverage her influence, demanding proof of the child's lineage to protect the baby and the parents from scandal. Carly, however, is unmoved by plea or moral fervor. Having been through her own crucible of family turmoil, she empathizes with the desire to shield loved ones from public scrutiny. With a practiced calm, Carly argues that Dante and Brooke Lynn must navigate this storm themselves, warning that outside interference will only multiply the chaos. Her words, though measured, carry an emotional weight that fractures Lulu's resolve. You think I haven't tried to stand in other people's shoes? But this is theirs to bear, and theirs alone. Lulu's voice trembles as she counters, her conviction unwavering. But Carly, what if their silence hurts that baby? The mention of the infant's vulnerability cuts through Carly's defenses for a fleeting moment, yet she steels herself, refusing to be swayed. Then let Dante and Brooke Lynn decide how to protect their own child. My involvement will only hand them more trouble on a silver platter. Despite the tension, Carly's loyalty to privacy and autonomy for her brother ensures she will not help Lulu pursue DNA tests or public acknowledgement. Unbowed yet battered, Lulu withdraws, her mind racing with the implications. She knows that leaving this secret unexposed could sting her conscience, but trust in the strength of her family bonds and the hope that Dante and Brooke Lynn will do the right thing might be the only thing keeping her from forcing the issue. As she retreats into the shadows of their shared history at the Spencer estate, one thing is clear: Lulu Spencer's fight for the truth has only just begun, and Port Charles may never see the same sunrise again. Emma Scorpio Drake's suspicion of Jocelyn Jacks. Meanwhile, over at General Hospital's medical wing, Emma Scorpio Drake finds herself entangled in a puzzle far more personal than any diagnosis she's ever made. A damaged USB drive, critical to her research, has been sabotaged, and deep down, Emma suspects her friend-turned-rival Jocelyn Jacks. The evidence is circumstantial. Jocelyn's sudden interest in advanced cyber forensics, whispered conversations behind glass doors, and an almost theatrical jealousy whenever Emma mentions her work with Professor Henry Dalton. Determined to unearth the truth, Emma embarks on a covert investigation. Late nights in the hospital library become her battleground as she pores over logs and security footage. Each grainy frame reveals Jocelyn's silhouette near Emma's office, but is she merely passing by or deliberately tampering with Emma's files? Driven by adrenaline and betrayal, Emma sketches timelines and motives on her notepad, her handwriting growing more frantic with every clue she uncovers. At the same time, Jocelyn's own ambitions escalate. Aiming to secure the coveted position of Dalton's research assistant, she weaves a web of half-truths and carefully curated goodwill. In faculty lounges and hospital hallways alike, she presents herself as the eager protégé, a shining star hungry for academic achievement. But behind her polished smile lies a deep-seated fear, the fear that her true identity, as an undercover operative for the WSB, will be revealed, costing her everything she's worked for. As Emma closes in, she stumbles upon startling information. Jocelyn's background checks are suspiciously clean, devoid of the usual academic records one would expect. More shocking still is the encrypted folder on Jocelyn's desk, which, when Emma manages to crack it open, reveals cryptic communications with a handler referred only as director. Confirmation of Jocelyn's WSB ties explodes in Emma's mind like a vat of acid, burning away any remnants of their friendship. Torn between duty and compassion, Emma confronts Jocelyn in a deserted corridor. The confrontation crackles with tension. "Why, Joss? Why sabotage my research?" Emma's voice wavers, half in anger, half in betrayal. Jocelyn's response is equally volatile, a whispered confession laced with resolve, because if you succeed, Port Charles changes forever. And I can't let that happen. As the realization sinks in that their clash transcends professional rivalry, both women stand at a precipice. Will Emma expose Jocelyn and trigger a federal manhunt, or will loyalties shift when greater threats emerge? Jordan's counsel and Curtis's crossroads. Back at the Metro Court, Jordan Ashford urges her husband, Curtis, to pause his spiraling suspicions about Portia Robinson. Rumors have swirled that Portia's interactions with Drew Kane hide dark secrets, but Jordan, ever the voice of reason, insists Curtis gather all the facts before assigning blame. The strain in their marriage becomes palpable as Curtis's jealousy morphs into an obsessive quest. Surveillance of Portia's meetings, covert phone taps, and whispered confrontations behind closed doors. Curtis, convinced that Portia's smiles hide deceit, prepares to launch his own investigation, hiring a private eye without Jordan's knowledge. When Jordan discovers his duplicity, the betrayal cuts deeper than any knife. "Curtis, I married you because I believed in us," she says, tears shimmering in the crystal chandeliers of their suite. "But you're treating our marriage like a chessboard, moving pieces without telling me." Curtis retorts coldly, "If you loved me, you'd understand that Portia's actions threaten everything we've built." Their argument crescendos until Jordan, with a mixture of sorrow and steel, declares that if Curtis cannot trust her or confront his demons of mistrust, then perhaps their union is already beyond repair. For Curtis, a man who despises lies above all else, the notion of remaining married to someone he deems deceitful is unbearable. As the echoes of Jordan's footsteps fade down the hallway, Curtis faces an agonizing choice: follow his heart and apologize, or follow his hatred of dishonesty and file for divorce. With Portia waiting in the shadows, unaware of the maelstrom about to engulf her, Curtis's decision will redefine their family's future. Confrontations, deceptions, and the fallout of war. Sonny Corinthos' alliance and his fury. In the darkest corners of Port Charles's underworld, Jen Sidwell and Sonny Corinthos reach a clandestine agreement that shifts the power dynamics of the city. Sidwell, notorious for past atrocities, from racketeering to orchestrated hits, offers intelligence that Sonny cannot ignore. Although Laura Collins, ever the moral compass, pleads with Sonny to consider Sidwell's bloody record, Sonny's world-weary pragmatism prevails. In this game, loyalty is earned, he tells Laura in a voice gravelly with exhaustion. And right now, I need results. Carly, sensing Sonny's isolation, confronts him outside his office, voice trembling with both fear and love. "Sonny, you can't trust him. He'll use you and then toss you aside." But Sonny's patience snaps. Years of betrayals and enemies have eroded any sentimentality. In a flare of rage, he lunges at Carly, ready to strike, only halting when he sees the fear in her eyes. "Don't you dare lecture me, Carly," he snarls. The air crackles with tension as Carly, bruised but unbowed, realizes that Sonny's code of honor is fractured, and her attempts to guide him will only push him further into darkness. Sidwell's explosive evidence against Drew Kane. Amid these upheavals, Sidwell unveils a bombshell, evidence that Drew Kane orchestrated the rooftop explosion that engulfed Sonny's penthouse, leaving Michael Corinthos horribly burned. Sidwell presents a dossier of surveillance snapshots, intercepted calls, and doctored witness statements purportedly linking Drew to the crime. Port Charles trembles at the notion that the man who once fought alongside them could be their greatest enemy. Yet suspicion lingers. Is this proof genuine or cunning forgery by a master manipulator? As Sonny pores over the documents, memories of his brother's betrayal collide with doubt. Carly, torn between her love for Sonny and lingering belief in Drew's decency, pores over the same evidence, her journalist's instincts screaming that the timing is too convenient. Meanwhile, Drew, oblivious to Sidwell's machinations, prepares to plead his case to Jason Morgan, hoping that his friend's loyalty will clear his name, or at least secure him the protection he will need when the storm finally hits. Unseen threads and Port Charles's impending reckoning. As the hourglass drains, these storylines converge. Dante and Brooke Lynn's secret child, Emma's chase after Jocelyn's truth, Curtis's marital rupture, and Sonny's dark pact, all colliding in a dramatic crescendo. Hidden agendas and half-truths bind the characters together in a web of intrigue. Expect alliances to fracture, trusts to be betrayed, and sacrifices to be made. When the curtain falls on Wednesday's shocking episode, Port Charles will never be the same. A city on the brink of war between law and crime, loyalty and vengeance, love and suspicion. And in the eye of the storm stand our heroes and villains alike, bound by secrets that will either destroy them or forge them anew. Stay tuned, because in Port Charles, trust is a luxury, and revenge comes at a price.